Hey guys, iosefka here, back with another Resident Evil Resistance video. This is the game that comes with Resident Evil 3, and in today's video I'm going to be covering the enhanced brain equipment. I'm going to be seeing if it's actually worth using. We've done a ton of testing in the lab, so I've got a lot of footage to show you guys. The results might surprise you. It's actually quite good, so we'll dive right in. I'll show you guys what I found out. Okay, so real quick, just for anyone who doesn't know, the enhanced brain equipment released at the same time as the Jill update. So not only did they release Jill, they released a ton of new equipment for both Survivor and Mastermind, which I think is a really cool thing to do. I hope they do more of that in the future. But just to cover the enhanced brain, what it does is it decreases the time needed for creatures to become active. So that's from spawning them to when they're attacking or whatever they're doing. So the enhanced brain there's three variations. You got enhanced brain 1, which is a slight decrease. You've got a moderate decrease with enhanced brain 2, and enhanced brain 3 is a great decrease. So the nice thing I like with these three is they're actually all very cheap. And I think they're very cheap for how effective they are as well. So you can have all three equipped and you still have 6 points left. So you could stick on like a Razor Claws 2 for moderate attack power increase. You could put on the viral canister for a greatly increased infection rate. You could put the resilient skin. You could put whatever it is you're going for. You've got 6 spare points to use if you choose to use all 3 brains. So what I have coming up is I have some footage where I have done tests with and without all 3 brains. And I'll cover if the individual brains are any better or if it's worth sticking them all on and going the whole hog. So let's go into the labs and I'll show you guys. Alright, so I went to the labs and what I did is I recorded 2 separate pieces of footage for you. So on my right, which is your left, we've got the no equipment zombies. So everything on this side has no equipment. And on the left, we have the 3 enhanced brain pieces of equipment equipped, nothing else, just those 3. And what I'll do is I'll play the footage and we'll see just how significant the difference is. It might surprise you. It did surprise me, I'll tell you that much. One thing to bear in mind though, where you spawn your creatures, it actually affects how quickly they activate. So if you spawn them kind of where they are now, like a meter away from the survivors, they go for a swipe, which takes a bit longer. If you spawn them right next to them, they obviously go for a grab. And now obviously some people know this already, but for anyone who doesn't, that does have a huge difference. And the enhanced brains do affect both of them. So what I'll do here is I'll press play, I'll show you the footage, and let's see how impactful this is. So we have a tough zombie, spawn them both at the exact same time. The enhanced brain, I mean, it's no contest, 6 seconds. Compared to 9. So that is a 3-second difference, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when things are kind of going crazy or if you're getting rushed, 3 seconds is huge. So we'll move on. I did the test multiple times. So this one is for a grab. Spawn them at the same time, both tough zombies. 2 seconds. 2 seconds compared to 5 for a grab. So you imagine you're in a scenario where you have a room full of zombies, right? You got the survivors, you know, that they're barging in, they're fighting everything in the room. They have 2 seconds to react. If you spawn a zombie right behind one of them, 2 seconds is nothing. It's pretty crazy how well this could work. So yeah, we'll show you again. So again, it's like a 3-second difference, which I find kind of crazy, to be honest. So what I did here with the timings, just for anyone who's unsure, I went through the footage frame by frame, and what I did is I stopped the timer on the frame where the survivor begins to move, so they get interacted with. Not necessarily when they get attacked or grabbed or bitten or whatever. It's the moment their animation starts, because that's obviously when they're locked out of doing anything else, right? So bear that in mind. So I did it based on the animation of the survivor. Just so I could make sure that everything was accurate. So what I did here is I tried again with a normal zombie. The timing is exactly the same. So for those who don't know, the tough zombie and the normal zombie, both the same. So whether it's a grab, whether it's spawning a bit further away for a swipe, it's the same. So 2 seconds with the brains, 5 seconds without. So I did try this with other zombies as well, just to see how much it would affect them. The dealers were quite interesting for me, so I'll press play again. The right side is the enhanced, the left side is not. Dealers actually have quite a slow time to activate as it is. I mean, the spawn animation alone, like 6 seconds, 7 seconds. It took her 8 seconds for the grab compared to 10 seconds. So it's not as beneficial. Bear this in mind. So we have 3 seconds with tough and regular zombies, 2 seconds with dealers. So bear that in mind, that it's not as effective for those. Another interesting thing I found out, look at the lickers. No difference. They do not affect lickers. So we can confirm that the enhanced brain equipment only affects controllable creatures. I mean, lickers activate fast as it is. I mean, how long was that? Like 2 seconds? Yeah, like 2 seconds before they even started moving. I did have a friend of mine here to aggro them both times for me, because obviously the lickers don't aggro on static AI. So yeah, it was exactly the same time for both lickers. So yeah, just bear that in mind as well, that the enhanced brains do not affect lickers. Alright, so with the detonators, for me, this is where things got really, really interesting. I do like using detonators. They're really useful, I find, if you want to spawn them somewhere and just rush an objective. Or rush a spawn, if you want to play like that. But yeah, I feel like detonators really do benefit. So here on the right, obviously you've got the enhanced detonator. I mean, look how fast it sits up. 5.2 seconds compared to 9. I mean, it's almost a 4-second increase. So really, really good for detonators. Remember as well, for those who don't know, detonators don't go for grabs. So even if you spawn them right on top of a survivor, they won't grab. They'll always stand up and they'll go for the swipe and the self-destruct detonation. So do remember that. So 5.26 currently is like the fastest time they'll ever activate. So yeah, really interesting, I think. So I did the same test with the crawling zombies just to see if it made them a little more aggressive. I am playing this a bit slower because my PC's not enjoying what I'm doing. But yeah, crawling zombie, 4 seconds it takes for a grab with all the enhancers, compared to 7, which is 3 seconds on the dot, basically. So yeah, the crawling zombie is not as beneficial as obviously a regular zombie, a tough zombie, armored, whatever, because they all move the same. But still, 4 seconds, it's an improvement over 7, so it can be helpful, especially if you don't want to spend any bioenergy to spawn them, to maybe get a grab if you're lucky. So with all this in mind, I mean, I guess the real question is it worth using them? I would say yes. I've been using just greatly for the past 10, 20 or so net games I've had, and I've not lost yet because I've been able to overwhelm very quickly and control a zombie that I've just spawned and really quickly go in for that bite. So for that, it's great. For those who probably want to know with the timings, I did do some tests using just the individual enhancers. So with the great only, I averaged around a 6-second crawling grab time for the crawling zombie. I averaged a 7.2 second swipe time and a 4.1 second grab time from when they're spawning, you know, on the ground. For the moderate increase, I had a 7.3 crawling zombie time, an 8.3 swipe time, and a 5-second grab. With the slight, the crawl time was around sort of 7.5 on average. It was fluctuating between like 7.5, 7.7 depending on the AI, because sometimes it was a little bit janky, but it was a little bit slower. The swipe was 9 seconds on average, and the grabs were 4.8 seconds. So the slight increase is there. The moderate is there, but it's not a huge step up, whereas I feel like the greatly on its own is beneficial enough to warrant using, I would say, if you're not going to use all three together, which the footage I showed, you know, proves how effective they can be. So yeah, that's basically just a rundown of all the testing I did, and I had a ton of fun with it. I'm debating doing an infection rate test, where we test the different levels of infection you can use with masterminds to see how effective they are. So I'll just have to do a test with a friend on that one, just so we can jot down exactly how quickly the infection rate goes up. But if you guys want that, let me know. I'm going to be testing out these enhanced brain builds this weekend live on Twitch. So if you guys are interested in that, please do stop by on the channel. You'll be more than welcome. We've got a wonderful community. Thank you guys so much for all of the continued support with Resident Evil Resistance. And yeah, that's me. I'm gonna go and play some Resistance. I love you guys. Take care. Mwah. Thank you for the support. Bye. Let's try that again.